2006.
What a fucking awful year. I don't want to go into too much detail, so just trust me on this one, but unrelated to that, I remember seeing the trailers for The Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning in 2006, and it made me scared. I'll show you what I mean.
What happened here? This is what Simba has done. There are times when all of us need to stand up to danger. It's time to unleash the true dragon within you.
The absolute devastation, the serious tone, and that one line that haunted me so much I couldn't even buy the game. It's time to unleash the true dragon within you. All I could think of when I heard that was,
I don't like change.
It really made me scared for the game and the future of the series, so in turn I did not play the game.
But I'm older and smarter now. I didn't know at the time that this was a reboot. I thought it was a continuation. And in hindsight, I guess the series really did need a reboot, considering 2 of the last 3 games were critical busts. And I'm all for trying things new, as long as it retains some of the spark of its forebears. The way I see it is, as long as it doesn't feel like a complete betrayal, then it's all good. But the question now is, now that I've played this game, after almost 10 years, is it a good reboot, or is it a shit reboot? Well, don't just sit there, fucking answer me! Now, you guys are so fucking
This game opens up with some nice intrigue with a rather effective opening sequence by the dragon who would come to be known as Ignitus, voiced by Gary Oldman.
Well, hey, I guess now we know why this game is so serious. It's because he played Sirius Black. Because he played Sirius Black.
He tells the tale of a prophecy that foretold a purple dragon being born that would change the world forever.
I, like all the others, awaited the birth of the dragon of whom the prophecies foretold.
Then the temple goes kaplooey. So he saves one egg, just the one, and flies away. And then he puts it in a mushroom top and sends it down the river. A rather well done title sequence, and then a bit showing 2 dragonflies finding the egg. Mr. Oldman explains that they took him in and raised him as their own, and it just so happens that the 2 of them had a child on the exact same day. Hold the fuck up! She didn't look pregnant! Or did she? Fuck it. And unless you eat shoes for breakfast, I probably don't need to tell you that the dragon is Spyro and the dragonfly is Sparks. This leads into probably the dumbest plot point in video game history. They convince Spyro that him and Sparks are twins. Yeah, honey, that egg ain't fitting up your pussy. Besides, the first time we see Spyro, he's like 10 times bigger than Sparks. Don't you think he would suspect something? I mean, how dense can you get? Well, when you're raised alongside David Spade, I can imagine why. And now that I've completely given the game away, Sparks is voiced by David Spade, and Spyro is voiced by Frodo himself, Elijah Wood. And all props to Elijah, man. He has a voice as smooth as silk. But there's something wrong with that voice coming out of that face. It's like if Barry White's voice came out of Bill Nye the Science Guy. It just doesn't work. Because it's not supposed to.
Whoa. Okay. So we're only 5 minutes in and already we have an A-list cast.
The main problem is, however, that despite great voice acting, the script is just kind of generic. Not bad, just like it was written by committee rather than a few talented writers, and the actors probably weren't given much direction either. So the dialogue in the entire game just seems like a bunch of wasted potential. The first level acts as the tutorial, where Spyro and Sparks are playing tag in the forest where they live. It's pretty basic, and the level looks okay, but is seriously murky, and the entire level is spent chasing Sparks.
Yay, plot.
Until mysterious mercenaries capture Sparks, and Spyro is forced to fight for his life. Then, when times are dire enough, he throws flame for the first time.
She's on fire.
And then Sparks' parents tell Spyro the truth, which he should have known a long time ago. Not because they should have told him, it's because, just fucking look at him! So he leaves to find out who he truly is, and then Sparks finds you because they paid for David Spade and they're gonna get their money's worth, damn it! And they sure do get that. Sorry, David. Love doing 8 simple roles, but having you as a companion is like if they combined all the negative qualities of Fee and Navi, put it in a blender, and added a dash of never shuts the fuck up. And there you go. I mean, sure, they do kind of justify him being the companion in this game with the brotherly bond storyline, but at least in previous games he had a use, indicating your health. So the only reason he's here is to justify calling this a Spyro game. But I guess the 2 characters do show a good amount of chemistry, and Sparks does have the odd, mildly funny line, so I guess he's acceptable. Also frogweed. Frogweed. The first part of level 2 is spent finding the dragon Ignitus by fighting and traveling through a swamp. And one thing you may notice at this point is that a lot of effort has gone into giving each person you fight a unique name. Some members of my Hall of Fame include
And best of all,
Now that you can throw flame, the combat comes into its own more or less during this level. It's monotonous but strangely satisfying. The sound design is really good in this game and keeps the combat from being stale. But why is charge R1? That's even worse than circle. That's like if they made Terminator 3 and then said,
Say, that movie wasn't that good. What can we do to make the next one even better?
I know. Let's not involve Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That has to be the absolute dumbest.
Besides, charging is basically useless because it takes a few seconds for you to recover, plus you can barely turn while doing it. But the newly implemented melee system is made well and creates a the floor is lava type of situation with the enemies because juggling them is cathartic, does the most damage out of everything, and is fucking hilarious. I mean, look at this.
Boy, I've heard of being high before, but this is ridiculous.
Again? Really?
Part 2 of level 2 is after you find Ignitus, and he unloads a lot of exposition on you, and tells you about the war with the Dark Master's forces.
The other three Guardians and I led our small but valiant forces into battle after battle against our ruthless, mercenary foe. And when we were beginning to turn the tide, Cinder came.
Cinder?
Yes, Cinder. Cinder is monstrous, horrific, ferocious. Black dragon.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. African American dragon.
Then he tells you that all is lost, as the 3 other Dragon Elders were defeated by Cinder. Incidentally, Cinder's a woman, and she's the main antagonist of the game. So you spend the remainder of the level fighting your way to the Dragon Temple. And if you thought the forest was murky, holy hot damn! I can barely see anything in these dense trees. I spent like 10 minutes in the starting area because I couldn't find the giant wood wall you're supposed to break down. You fight through 4 or 5 waves of enemies, each of which gets you close to the temple. It's also in this level that they introduce gems. Red is health, green is magic, blue is upgrading, and purple's for fury attacks. And once you get to the temple, you finally get to see the devastation that Cinder has caused.
This is what Cinder has done. Put all the islands under her iron rule.
Well, hey, she is a woman, am I right? Up top.
And then you go through another tutorial, this time about fire breath because
You haven't been taught anything about what it means to be a dragon.
What a coincidence. I just downloaded a spreadsheet on that. Huh.
So after that, Iggy shows you how to fly. And then you go through a Star Fox style rail shooter, right down to
Do a barrel roll!
It's pretty fun, it's just unfortunately short. Also, ape cannons.
I'm actually really nice to get to know me.
Level 3 is an Arctic tundra called Dante's Freezer. The ultimate goal in this level is finding the Dragon Elder Voltaire. The level design is good, mostly bright colors that creates a good contrast and makes the clear path generally easy to follow. There's also substantially less getting lost due to unintuitive map layout like in the previous 2 levels. As this is a linear game as opposed to the sprawling open-ended platforming of the previous games, good level design is key, and this level certainly has that. It was also in this level that I noticed Spyro has what I've come to call resting derp face. Check it out. During this level, you also get the power of electricity by getting shocked by a lightning cannon.
I wonder if that works.
And if you plan on playing this game, listen to me. Upgrade your electricity powers fully, because once you do that, you can throw people around like ragdolls into lava and off cliffs. It both breaks the game's difficulty and makes every encounter amusing as hell. Boy, I thought you had me beat. It's a shame you became suicidal. On the opposite side of the same coin, you can also throw impromptu dance parties. Near the end of the level, I swear this is true, there was a fight that took me at least 20 minutes. I thought I had hit some sort of glitch that made enemies respawn infinitely, but sure enough, after like a million guys, you get to fight the Ice King.
I would be inclined to make a joke about Frozen, but I don't give 2 licks of a used condom about Frozen.
Strategy? Flame him, and then stay back and collect the green gems that fall from the ceiling. And then you rescue Voltaire.
It borders on the miraculous, incredible, stupendous.
Oh my god, it's Eminem.
A dragon your size defeating that thing. A dragon your size defeating that thing. A purple dragon named Spyro. Amazing. Of course, there were unsubstantiated rumors of a purple dragon countless generations ago, but most considered a hearsay. Cyril is terribly obnoxious, but in this case he happens to be right. Yes, it's a proven scientific fact. Oh, it's hard to be absolutely sure, Ignatius. But it seems she was using it as some sort of suspended organic power source. Not only that, she also left with a glowing yellow orb, and I believe that I somehow powered it.
Actually, he's voiced by Corey Burton. Also, Voltaire's the smart one. That's his only personality trait. Moving on, next up, Ignitus tells you to go to Tall Plains, the 4th level, to rescue Cyril the Ice Guardian.
Cyril, you say?
Oh my god! You killed a hooker!
Call girl!
No, Cyril, when they're dead, they're just hookers!
And then you just go there. No transition, just poof, there. And this level is strongly reminiscent of the original Spyro games. A vast, beautiful plain filled with fights and platforming. It's quite a strong level in that regard. Even the goat thing you're supposed to protect looks like something out of Sheila's Alp. In this level, Cinder's forces have driven the local tribe underground, and you must free them. Incidentally, they are called
The Atlawa.
Oh, bless you.
I wouldn't know comedy if it cock-slapped me, and even I think that was horrible.
There's this one really annoying bit in a pirate ship that doesn't telegraph what you're supposed to do very well. You see, you're supposed to turn away from the fight, and notice the giant island in front of you. Anyway, you go through about half the level and then learn Ice Breath because you needed it, which makes far less sense than the last breath you learned, but whatever, we'll roll with it. Oh look, a turret! Wait, Earth Cannon?
Cannons at the ready!
So you fight through Cinder's forces, and then you end up at the Adlawa Shrine, where you have to fight the Stone Sentinel. Literally the same strategy as before. Flame him and pick up gems. It's not rocket surgery. And then you rescue Cyril, who sounds oddly familiar.
Yes, old boy, we'd like nothing more than to stay and be a part of your primitive barbaric society, but...
Where do I know that voice from? God, this guy's been in everything! But what do I know that specific voice from? Got it!
Yea, the giant snail is swiftly dissolved by the salt, and its shell later used as low-income housing.
You get trained with ice, which is next to useless, so don't even bother. Level 5, Ignitus tells you to go to Munitions Forge to rescue Terrador. He also unloads some fresh intrigue.
Huh? He says he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Dude, I never know what he's saying.
What I'm saying is that Cinder is harnessing the Guardian's power to unlock a portal that must never be opened.
Why? What's behind this portal?
That doesn't concern you right now.
Munitions Forge is a fucking active volcano. And this level is fun because every other path has a cliff or a lava pit, so it's fairly trivial not to take a single hit during this level by flinging the dipshit guards with electric breath. Other than that, this level isn't the best design level, but it certainly isn't the worst design level. The contrasting colors on the murky backdrop does confuse my eyes like an albino African. The layout is intuitive enough that you never get lost and always have an idea of what to do. There's also a decent mix of combat and platforming to keep the level from being stale. You also learn Earth Breath by being crushed.
God, the avenue for getting these powers makes no sense. I mean, if a giant fuck-off boulder just fell on me right now, would I get the power of Earth?
But the real draw of this level is the half-point mini-boss.
Chill, motherfucker.
Move! Fuck! This is arguably the best boss fight in the game, and it's not even the main level boss. You make your way to the center of the volcano, and remember all that fun you had while fighting that train? Well, time to throw that all away for a painfully mediocre boss fight. Just attack it and wait for it to crash to do double damage. If the first boss battle in this level was woo, then this boss battle is
woo.
Then
the purple dragon lives.
He's got a name, you know.
Yes, my name is Spyro. And you must be Terrador.
Yes I am. And I must say I never thought I'd live to meet you, Spyro. Run!
Level 6 Part 2. Hold the charge button and never let go. This is your first time face to face with Cinder, and it's fucking intense.
Wait, I wonder if this would work with Benny Hill. Nope.
I
came in with 2 giant elves.
Oh look, the last dragon elder she didn't capture yet has been captured.
What an unexpected plot twist.
And you're not ready to face Cinder yet.
Oh, by the by, you know how I said that ice breath was useless? Well, earth breath makes ice breath look like tactical nuke breath. So after that, it's time to go to Cinder's home front and ram my foot up her big fat ass!
Shit, did I just insult a woman? Oh god, the feminazis.
So after a brief dialogue with the 3 remaining dragon elders that shows how lazy they are.
Every generation must pass the torch to the next.
My fighting days are over.
Yes, it is Spyro's time to shine.
You're off to Cinder's lair.
Cinder's lair is where hope goes to die.
Never had any.
This level is somewhat dual-natured. It's dark and broody as all fuck, and also has fairly intuitive level design. But it can also be hard to see in some areas because it's dark as fuck. But that's in fitting with the theme. It creates a proper atmosphere for a final level of this magnitude. Tense and unforgiving, where every 2 steps you're afraid to get ambushed. I'll be honest though, after 8 hours of fighting the same guys, the combat was starting to wear on me at this point. The heavy catharsis was outweighed by the overall repetition, so I was just luring them to higher ground and then suplexing them off ledges from 6 feet away. Except the Electric King, because he has a 6cm area he likes to stay in, fucking puss. So the initial mechanics were starting to wear thin. But there's something to be said about the atmosphere. Starting on the ground floor and clawing your way through roadblock after roadblock, slowly ascending to the final encounter, and creating the type of climactic intensity I haven't felt since the final boss in Ocarina of Time. So you reach Cinder, and then you hear her talk for the first time, voiced by Cree Summer, for like 2 lines of dialogue.
If only it were that easy, little one. Time you learned how complicated life can be.
Then you engage in a climactic final battle. And she fucks off after 1 health bar.
Oh look, somebody crumpled up this piece of paper. And now they're blue balls.
So Cinder takes the final orb she needs to power the portal to the Dark Master, and since he's the only one who's read the script, Ignitus reveals some much-needed exposition.
There was something in her eyes, Ignitus. Something familiar.
You and Cinder share more than you know. It's time I told you the truth.
Apparently Cinder and Spyro were born from the same batch of eggs.
Which means one of 2 things. Either they're gonna die together, or they're gonna be a virgining romance.
Then the portal to free the Dark Master starts to open, so you go after Cinder. And this section is probably the best section in the game. What seems to be an homage to the previous Spyro games, a challenging platforming section that takes a good 5 to 10 minutes to complete. It creates a retro sensibility that you don't get much of in this game. The gliding controls are good, and everything is well designed in this level. Except for the jellyfish. Why are there jellyfish?
Then you face Cinder, once and for all, in an epic fight.
Where she can barely hit you if you stay up in the air. Beat her 3 health bars down, avoid her special attacks, cry when you fuck up, rinse and repeat until you win. And then sit back and watch your victory. Oh look, she really was the same age as Spyro.
Taking all bets, taking all bets. 5 to 1 odds, they die together. 3 to 1 odds, there's a romance. Taking all bets.
I can't leave her behind. I've got to save her. That wasn't her fault. She was being used by the Dark Master. Now we can go.
I'm right behind you, buddy.
Allahu Akbar! I'm not racist.
And then congratulations.
Well done.
Sorries.
I failed the night of the raid.
And brief expositions are in order.
There will be time to talk of the Dark Master later.
Roll credits.
Boy, that was long-winded, wasn't it?
Overall, this game is a weird one. It's only about 7 to 9 hours long, and I feel like if they did the rail shooter level to smoothly transition between levels, it would have padded the game out more. But I guess not having as much padding does keep the whole experience sweeter. Aside from that, the voice acting is good, but the script is generic and doesn't make the most of the people cast in the game. The combat is fun but gets very repetitive as there's only one real combo in the game plus the 4 breaths. The small bursts of platforming are fun and welcome. The level design is polarizing as half the levels are fun and the other half are shit due to murky unintuitive designs. The overall graphic design is appealing, there's next to no music as it's mostly for tension building and ambience, and the story as a whole is pretty decently presented. Oh, and David Spade is fucking annoying.
My biggest problem with this game though is that it just doesn't feel like a Spyro game. With its focus on a dark, broody story, it's like if Warner Brothers did all of the cocaine and decided that Looney Tunes needed a gritty futuristic reboot where every character had theme power. Forgot that was a thing.
But ultimately, a review has to come down to one question. Is the game good?
And you know what? Yeah, it is. You know, it's well presented and it's fun enough that I was able to complete it. I guess the overall statement is short but sweet. And it really does make me excited for... Wait. After the credits.
See anything, Spyro?
No. But I've got a bad feeling.
Me too.
Bad feeling. Oh my god. No. I remember now. Oh god, I locked that game away years ago. No, 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 no.
Wow, that was long-winded, wasn't it? If you want to help support my long-winded reviews, as well as the other stuff I do, like this video and consider subscribing. And for more of my long-winded reviews, check out the links on the screen. See you next time.